And, like kicking off this episode, it was so dramatic, obviously, because it took us back to the night that everything happened with Sheena and Raquel, which was during Watch What Happens Live. And there was a cringy moment where Andy Cohen asked Sheena and Raquel, who do you think the hotter Tom is? And they both answered Sandoval because Sheena thought that Raquel was going to answer Schwartz, right? Well, literally 3 hours later, that's when shit came out. And then, of course, we had a temporary restraining order that was in the works. This was a very dramatic intro.
Yeah, and I'm the needy one who's like, why didn't somebody pick up an iPhone and film this as it went down? It's a bunch of he said, she said with regards to how, this all went down live and in the moment. But I mean, how many hours was it from Ariana finding out before it kind of got leaked to the whole community?
I think that it happened right away because she said that she found out and then they stepped outside. Her and Tom started arguing about it. And then on the car ride home, she started texting everybody. So she sent Lala a text, Katie a text, James a text, everyone, because she wanted to make sure that she did this while she was upset. And she didn't want to let him and Raquel get away with it.
Yeah, that's really smart. I mean, it does show that there is a PR battle going on. I've said this. I posted my recap like about an hour ago, and I've said this. Like, I don't blame Ariana for milking all of the or for like sort of monetizing what's going on. She's going to go on Dancing with the Stars. Like, you spent 9-10 years committed to somebody. They've wasted your time. She'll never get back. That's like a quarter of her life she'll never get back. Milk this for every penny you can. Let the whole world have your sympathy. I do think from a political, I'm sorry, not political, from a PR damage control perspective, I do think there's a way she could come off looking better, but I think people do rally around her being scorned right now. I just think it's like, all right, she's, it's like you get your lines in, but then like move on and speak your piece. And again, this is all part of the process. It's just going to be dragged out for 3 more weeks. But yeah, good for her for kind of shining throughout all of it.
Oh, it's definitely going to be dragged out for sure. I mean, at least until June, 100%. But, I wanted to ask you, Dave, because after we share like the sort of kind of pan back over to Watch What Happens Live, and you hear Tom and Ariana and Sheena giving their different renditions of how this all went down, then we get the cringy conversation where Ariana is sitting on the couch with one of her best friends, and her best friend just like knows the producer's cue to be like, get out of here. We need to film a scene. And then here comes Tom walking down the stairs, and he's like, can I get you anything for you to die? And they sit down and have the most cringy conversation where she's just like telling him, I would have done anything for you. So how in your mind can you justify hooking up with someone, not just someone, but with my best friend?
Yeah. So just as a side note, you asked me earlier how Bachelor Nation compares to this. Here's where I think Vanderpump could benefit. Bachelor Nation on their finale has a live audience in studio, and you can like hear them cheering when these conversations are going down. So when Ariana said you could die, I kind of wanted a live audience reaction in that moment, because people are throwing things in the air and throwing their popcorn and everything. It was, I mean, she's really is full of amazing sound bites here. But as far as Sandoval's concerned, I don't know. They're clearly so emotional that he's trying to defend his actions, which are indefensible. And that's what gets him in trouble. That's what happened on Howie Mandel. He's just trying to defend. It's like, look, you just have to, that comes maybe next year, but you just apologize and move on and let that conversation, like he's trying to repair his image in the moment. And it's like, that's time, man. You need time for that.
Yeah, no. And when she's sitting there, I felt like the way that she handled everything in the conversation, like she didn't slam Raquel. She didn't really she told him that she's like, I don't trust you. I think that this is trash of you. I can't believe you did this. But the way that she's articulating her words and feelings, you can tell that he doesn't. It's almost like as if it would be so much easier for him if she was screaming and cussing at him, so then he can have that big reaction back. And you see him like sitting there thinking, waiting, because Tom Sandoval always has a huge reaction over the littlest things. And in this moment, I think that she knows him so well, obviously, after a decade of being together. She's like, I'm not giving you a moment. I want you to feel like shit. I want you to feel the words that I'm saying, and I want them to cut. And I don't want you to feel good about yours. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she would be a great lawyer. She doesn't let the point drift. She doesn't let it drift to Raquel. She goes, no, this is you. She can deal with Raquel on her own time. That's dead. This is, she keeps it very specific there, and she does a good job of setting her boundaries, of being like, no, don't worry. Like she did the same thing with Schwartz. Don't make this about how you guys feel. I'm the victim here, and this is what we're going to address first. And there is they do have a chance to have those different conversations between Schwartz's business. Like there are many other conversations that need to happen, but like don't complain to Ariana, because that's a smaller issue. And yeah, she did a really good job of explaining how she was feeling. You could tell she really workshopped it with her friends. She really got her emotions out, and she pretty much was able to just lay it all out to Sandoval. Like, this is why I'm upset. I mean, it's not so obvious for us to discuss, but I don't know if he actually got it. Like, he was just still so defensive.
Yeah, it kind of almost seemed like he was trying to gaslight her in the conversation. I feel like that word is being, like, it's thrown around so much, like, you're gaslighting me. But in this moment, it really did feel like he was kind of just telling her, Ariana, like, almost like, you can't be surprised. We weren't intimate. You had to have, like, suspected something. And I'm like, obviously she freaking did not.
Yeah, he goes, you should have fought if you just followed me. If you had only stooped, snuck into my DMs earlier, you would have known this. How dare you? Yeah. And in that place, gaslighting, I'm obviously no expert here, but I think you have to have an intention to manipulate. I think he's so delusional and defensive that he probably, like, if he broke up with Ariana the right way and moved on, maybe he had a point. Their relationship was in the gutter. They didn't communicate well, all these issues. To her credit, she's like, we could have gone to therapy. There's all these other things that we could have done. So whatever point he has, he didn't execute his reactions in the right way. So you lose all of your points.
Right. And to her point too, you keep on saying, well, we didn't spend time together. We didn't get to work on ourselves. We didn't even try. And she's like, you've been having an affair for the last 7-8 months. So while you're juggling that relationship, this relationship, a new bar, and your other business while filming a reality show, when did you think we were going to have time for that?
Yeah, and a good relationship should be able to withstand death in the family and tragedy, because those are 2-3 month hurdles, things that you have to deal with that you get over. I don't know all of their history, but if they were not on solid ground to get into that, and also now people are saying, well, who else did he cheat with? I think it was Sheena who mentioned, like, look, he's not just hooking up with Ariana's best friend as a first time hookup. He got so emboldened by probably hooking up with other people that he got lazy, and either he got lazy or he wanted to get caught. I don't think he wanted to get caught. I think he just thought he would be able to talk his way out of it. He seems like the type of guy who could talk his way out of a lot of things.